Hello, everyone, and welcome to Claret and Booze. No intro music today. I forgot to make one.
Slacker.
So we're going straight into it. I'm Nick, as you know. Got Gary with me, and a bloke that you might have forgot down the bottom, John. In fact,
Hey.
John, I'm going to stick you up the top. There you go. I'm going to go down the bottom. There
Hurrah! Well, I told my agent to get me top spot, or I'm not coming back.
That's it. It's great to have you back, mate. Great to have you back. Feeling better?
Yeah. Look, I don't want to go on about my near-death situation, and I won't harp on about the fact that I nearly died. But what I will do is I would like to thank everybody who sent me get well messages and that, which was a grand total of no one. But I understand people were worried. But I was fine. It was just something that got out of control. But, you know, it was, I'm all good now, raring to go. Still walking with a limp.
But you always did, to be fair. But,
I did. But they promised me these. They promised me these reduction operations went well. Usually, I was just unlucky.
I'll tell you what, it's good to have you back for the comments alone, John, because it's been a nightmare.
I know. You're all over the place, Gary, aren't you? You go top, bottom, middle.
I lose my place. I lose where I am.
But anyway, look, back on with the show. I'll run you through the agenda. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to touch on the Lyon game again. So we're going to do another review on that. I know I did a review on Thursday, but obviously you didn't get John and Gary's take on that. So we're going to have a quick discussion on that before we move into the player ratings. Gary's got 3 juicy stories. One of them is related to that game. I'm sure you can guess what that is, but so we've got to stay away from that subject. I've been warned. So we'll come to that later, and then after that, we're going to look ahead to the Brentford game tomorrow. Some interesting results today, weren't there? Really, it's looking good. I mean, Man United. I mean, are they genuinely that bad? I mean, clearly they are.
I think they are. I mean, they're putting together some quite bad string of results now, aren't they? And the same can be said for Arsenal as well. The bottom's falling out of Arsenal's season at a rapid rate.
I know.
It's great to see.
The sad thing is, it's kind of going to be handed to Spurs 4th place. But do you know what? I don't care. Providing we get in that top 6, you know, I just hope that Tottenham beat Spurs when they play them. Tottenham beat Arsenal when they do play them. I think that's.
But do you not think that we've got bigger fish to fry now?
Yeah,
you know,
we have. You know, I like Tottenham to fuck up. You know, I do. But
yeah, we all do.
I can't quite see it happening, unfortunately, under with Matey Boy in charge. Probably not. But anyway, look, it's not a Tottenham show. Sod them. But the good thing is, it looks like we are in pole position now. It's in our hands again, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
You know, that sort of 6th spot, and we've got quite an interesting run up running to the end of the season. I think we're going to be all right. Yes, we have got Europe, of course. We've got Europe, whereas these other teams haven't. But
you can't complain, right? 3 out of 4 results went our way. Wolves lost last night.
Yeah.
Arsenal lost today. Man United lost today. It's back in our hands, right? It's brilliant.
Absolutely. Right. Well, look, let's get on with the Lyon review. You two were there on Thursday night. What was the atmosphere? Was it on par with the Sevilla game? You know, the build up to it, and I felt tense. I was excited, but it was kind of like a nervous energy for me.
I think it was tense. You're right, and I was quite surprised how initially we allowed them to have the ball. Now I know we're a counter attack team. I get that.
Yeah.
But you know, we were mocking Lyon for being 10th in the French league. You know, the French league's weak, but there's no doubt the quality they have. Yeah. And it was all I couldn't work out if we were giving them too much respect or they were just playing that well. And I think what happened was we allowed them to have so much of the ball so early on that even before Cresswell sending off, I think they had a lot of the ball and probably more than we would have expected. I don't think we were as in their faces as I hoped we would have been. I don't know what you think, Gail.
No, I think that they were a bit more of a physical team, though, weren't they, than what Sevilla were. So I think in terms of they had athletes in the team. They was big and quick, basically, and I think that was different to Sevilla. I think Sevilla were more of a technical team, whereas Lyon they've got some big lads, some big quick players. So a different game altogether.
They have, but I think John's right. I think it was a slow start to the game from us. I don't know whether it was nerves of the big occasion or whatever else. I think the atmosphere was great inside the stadium. It wasn't on the same par as Seville, but it almost was. It was good, you know, really good, buzzing over there. But I thought what happened was we kind of grew into the game. We went, after 20 minutes, both sides were sort of feeling each other out. It was a typical first leg. We're feeling each other out. And then slowly we started to push forward and little forays into the attack. They did as well. And they were getting a lot of joy down the Frederick side. We've been caught out recently with that diagonal ball through the fullback, between the fullback and the centre back. That's a recurring theme for us at the moment. We've got to watch that, and it happened on Frederick's side quite a few times. We will come to the referee, the dodgy git, but my abiding memory from the other night was just an heroic performance from West Ham in the second half. I mean, I'll always remember that because 53 minutes, and some of the performances, well, Craig Dawson just epitomizes what that second half was all about, right, John?
Yeah.
I mean, not to jump too far ahead because obviously going to do player ratings, but you know my take on Craig Dawson, and I've been, well, in my mind, I've been blowing his trumpet for a long time. That's another story.
I think you don't play a trumpet, John.
Yeah, I just think that, I know you say there was a physical team in that, Nick, but I don't think they played very physical.
No.
I think they were popping it around quite well, and I just felt that some of the comments, I think it was the most naive I've seen us be in Europe, and I know they have massive amounts of European experience, but it did show the difference in the naivety. And we've been quite, I suppose, not lucky, but we've done quite well through the Europa League so far with the referees we've had. The referees have been very fair. I thought we'd get punished a lot more throughout the competition because we are quite physical. We've been quite good with the referees we've had. Again, I'm not going to go too much into the referee, but they bought so many free kicks. They conned so many free kicks. And what really frustrated me was the amount of times that they won a free kick, the guys rolling around, and literally as soon as the referee went over to put the ball down for the free kick, the geezer would jump up instantaneously.
And you'd think once that's happened once, the referee would get the measure of him, right? He'd see it and his eyes would open. So it just told me that the referee, who we'll come to, was just he was one of those who's just sort of in it for himself. He was a bit of an ego. He wanted the big occasion to all be about him.
Is it a symptom of European football? Do you think these continental refs are European refs? You think
no,
but you do see it quite often, I think. You do see it
all the other games we've had, we haven't had that experience yet. So it can't be synonymous anymore. You would have thought if you went back 20 years, that's what you would have got. Every European game with an English team, the English team would have been punished because we're physical and the way we play, etc. But throughout this season, until that game on Thursday, we didn't have that sort of referee.
I agree. Up until that dodgy performance we had the other night, the referees in the Europa League this season, they've taken no crap, right? They have not, they've told people to get up again, because we've played teams like that already who have been throwing themselves down, and the referees have just not fallen for it. The one thing I hope, I think in the last game against Sevilla, and I think this is true of, I don't think you had the same referee for both legs, do you? Because we had a French and a Swiss for the Sevilla game.
He was awful. I mean, we are going to talk about him after, but he was unfortunately it spoiled the game. He spoiled the game, really. That's what he did.
It was. You know what I would say though, for all the possession they had, they didn't create a lot of clear cut.
Oh look, John, they couldn't beat us with 10 men.
No.
Mate.
They couldn't
beat us with 10 men. So
they threw the fucking kitchen sink at us the other night. They brought all their attackers on, because we effectively swapped out Ben Johnson. We swapped Cresswell and Ben Rama on the left hand side out for Ben Johnson, a single man, which is why he was getting 2-on-1 quite a lot in the second half. And they focused down that side and threw everything down that side, and they still only scraped a scrappy equaliser. We could have gone 2-0 up.
He did all right, didn't he? Considering they was overloading on that side, I think Johnson coped quite well.
He did.
They were focusing. They were focusing heavily on that side, definitely.
I was obviously, after the sending off, I was absolutely over the moon with the result. I was quite. I'll be honest with you. I was quite worried going into the second half. I was, at half time, I'm saying to my boy, this could be a problem here. We could get our pants pulled down a little bit, but. Whatever he said to them at half time, whether Cresswell was in there going, "Come on, lads, do it for me. Come and do it for me, lads. Come on." But they seemed to come out, and they all of a sudden, with 10 men, we had more of an attacking prowess as a unit than we did the whole of the first half. I think.
Absolutely.
I think it's also true, and you've touched on this already, John. But it's also true. There's a few people saying in the comments that we were a little bit naive the way we went, because if you get a dodgy referee like that, you've kind of got to play within the parameters of the referee, haven't you? If you know he's going to give everything, then you've got to be a little bit more careful. So I think there's a fair amount of truth in that as well. But we are learning, right? We're learning.
Yeah, we are. But I think we played a different style of football this time. We seem to play quite direct. And you know what? It worked in this game because our passing from the back, as we're going to talk about after, was superb. You know, not just from Dawson, but some of our passing, we were bypassing midfield at times. But Antonio was leading that line perfectly. It seemed like every single chest header flick was coming off. It was going to someone. But that was because did you notice how close Fornals was sticking to him?
Yeah.
Fornals was always in and around him. He was always close to him, wasn't he? And he had obviously Bowen there as well. But I think Bowen sort of had his hands full with that fullback in the first half, didn't he? That Emerson, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think this is a good comment from Garino, and I know people have discussed it previously on this show and other shows. We do need to wise up, and there isn't. I'm starting to think it's difficult, isn't it, right? Because you don't want to go down the line, the road of trying to win things or whatever you. But sometimes when I look at Antonio, right, for all the stick we give him, one thing he does is try to stay on his feet. And sometimes that's probably at the detriment to himself, because he could probably win so many more free kicks than he does, because he's too honest. And we love his honesty. We love his honesty. But then it could actually go against him in so much as he looks worse than he was, because in the end he gives the ball away.
I think what I would like to see more of, really, and I think we're going to need to do that if we want to be successful and we want to win things. I think that we've got to manage games a lot better. So when we're in front, we've almost got to start taking. You watch it, anyone, Man City do it. They'll take the sting out of a game if one of their attacks breaks down, and then you've got a counter on. They'll do anything that they can to stop that, to halt that attack from happening. And whether that's pulling a player back and doing a smart foul, or hitting the deck and play acting, just to and that's kind of what Lyon were doing. I mean, they were doing it in the first half though. It was fucking heartbreaking, wasn't it? Really, so frustrating.
Very experienced European team though, and we're not.
Yeah, well, the first bloke who did it was that who is he? The centre back, the ex Bayern Munich defender, Boateng.
Boateng,
yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. He's he's a seasoned old dog, and he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. But yeah, I mean, on the whole though, what are your? Let's we've spoken about the game. What are your thoughts on the match overall? And what do you think about the next coming up sorts of the next leg? Do you fancy our chances, John?
100%, mate. I don't really see, we had 10 men for half the game. Did Areola have loads to do? No. Were they able to dissect our defence time after time? No.
Yeah.
I just think that if they can create the spirit going into that game, and somebody said it in there, all you got to do is show them the Dembele wink. So that's all you need to do as your pep talk. For me, I genuinely don't think we've got anything to fear. We could go into it and get beat. Of course, we could get beat any game at any time. But genuinely, I don't see anything for us to fear, mate. I genuinely don't. I mean, if we would have gone down to 10 men against Seville, I think there would have been a different story.
Yeah,
if we would have gone, I'm more than happy with the result, obviously, as we all are, and I'm more than looking forward to Thursday. We've got nothing to lose. Well,
Sevilla were a far better team, weren't they?
Yeah, 100%, and you can see that.
A one-off game, right? Every game is a final now, especially the second legs. So that is a final we've got to play on Thursday. It's a one-off game. It's level. We're still in it. We've got to be proud of ourselves for still being in it. I wanted to take a lead out there. We all did, but that's not on now. But yeah, exactly right, John. We've got the measure of this team now. We know what they're capable of, and they can't score against us. Well, they did score against us, a bit of a lucky goal, but they can't open us up even when it's 10 versus 11 or 10 versus 12.
No. I'm just going to go through some of the
go on, mate. Go for the comments.
Yeah, there's quite a few have come up. Sorry. So a few people have said welcome back, Paul, and everyone else. Thank you very much. Claire is amazed that we're on time. Man, you are pissed, but Spurs look good.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
Can't have it all, can you? Can't have it all.
No, you can't. Oh, hang on. John's gone. He was here and now he's gone again.
Oh,
hang on. He's had a bit of an emergency, I reckon. He just he's closed his camera.
Sorry, my boy.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Villa should have buried Spurs first half. When the second went in against the run and play, Villa's heads dropped. Yeah, and they were in it up to a point, I suppose. I think the scoreline looks worse than it actually was. Freshfielder says fifth is seriously on.
Yep, it is.
After this weekend, let's get 3 points tomorrow. I hope so. I think we can, but it'll be a tough game tomorrow.
Oh, apart from Spurs, who we got to fear?
Well, no, exactly. I mean, I think if we win tomorrow, I think we're pretty going to be guaranteed top 6, and that'll be happy days, won't it? You know
I agree with you.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Happy Hammerette. I didn't think the atmosphere was anywhere near as good as Seville. No, I think it was nervous, and I think we knew what we needed to do in the second leg, and that's the thing. You know, when you've got the second leg at home, you know what you need to do. The fans know what they need to do because we need to push them over the line a little bit. In the first leg, it's always going to be a bit more cagey, and I suppose that sort of spread out into the stands. You know what I mean? Look, this is what Garino said earlier. All Moyes needs to do for the team talk is show him the Lyon winker.
Yeah.
They are experienced in Europe. Happy Amaret, they were absolute pansies. Yeah, they were frustrating. They were all big. Nick, you said that big and athletic some of their players was, and they was going down so easy. It was embarrassing.
I know.
Absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Garino says positive for me was despite having 10 men and the ref against us, we still created the best chance. Yeah, absolutely agree. Yeah, Lawrence, as I've said many times, Lawrence is the heartbeat of West Ham at the minute. I think it's brilliant. I love the story of it all. The ref has just booked a holiday. He had a big windfall on Thursday.
Yeah.
Glenn, that's slander. We're going to get cut off now and all that.
I'll give you a clue, right? Our first news story is called "He Likes a Bung."
Yeah.
Right.
I couldn't believe it when I saw the story. I couldn't. It's a joke. Harry's refereeing.
I'm not going to go into it, but I remember when Jude Bellingham come out and said about it, and I looked into it then. And
I didn't know it was him, though. I didn't know it was him.
No, I didn't know it was him until after the game.
Yeah.
So it was a bit worrying. Trod says we are better at finding club legends for 2 million, but always mess up with our bigger transfers. Yeah, agreed.
That's a good comment. That's a fair comment.
Well, it is a good comment, but I think someone like Moyes, I think he can easily mould a cheaper player because the cheaper player may not have an ego as much.
Yeah, that's right.
Convicted fixers should be banned for life. Oh dear.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think that's wrong.
No, I agree, but I'm worried about you cutting off our YouTube channels, ain't Evening, Matt. How you doing? There's a few in here. A lot of people just talking to each other. Sorry. Hang on, let's get rid of it. He was the German version of Mike Dean. Well, I don't know about that. That's a bit
very
harsh
similar.
on Mike Dean.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think Mike Dean's that bad.
The ref has I think Garrido wants to write the story. The ref has a reputation for being the worst in the Bundesliga. How he managed to get a Europa League quarter final after the match fixing and general level. Listen, I'm going to go into it with Gary soon, so I don't want to go much into it. But yeah, totally agree with everything you said. Happy Amaret alludes to the same thing. How's he allowed to continue refereeing after?
Shouldn't be allowed.
I know.
This is a controversial one. The only reason it's allowed is if they are complicit. Oh my God, this is getting deep.
I'll explain why he's still allowed. I don't think he's right, but I'll explain it.
Yeah.
This is something we didn't really touch on. We might have won if that twat hadn't run on the pitch.
Mate, Jesus. I can't. I mean, I can't have it that he's a West Ham fan for a start. I can't. You know that was. I know he had a West Ham shirt on. But he was giving the fans abuse as he was walking off, and he was getting pelters. Obviously, he was getting absolutely blitzed with stuff.
He was.
Yeah.
He wasn't abusing them initially. Initially, he pulled down, he unzipped his top and was showing his West Ham badge as if to say, "It's all right, lads. I've just broken up a fantastic attacking move. I'm a West Ham fan. Don't worry about it."
What a thick little idiot! What a thick little idiot doing something like that. I mean,
what was he thinking?
I mean, he looks about 16, 17 years old. He ain't going to see another game of football live till he's in his 30s. And that side, he clearly don't watch much football, or he wasn't watching the game at all. So to do it at that point, I think if he'd have done it when they were attacking down the other end, it would have got quite a nice reception, right? But doing it, breaking up a West Ham attack, come on.
Did you see the reaction of Antonio? I'll tell you, if he could have got hold of him, he was fuming. He was fuming.
I'll tell you what though. The first guy who ran on the pitch.
Yeah.
Have we employed like British athletes as stewards all of a sudden?
Did you see how fast that bloke was?
In Upton Park, the stewards used to be about 27 stone.
Yeah.
They've employed some of the speed of these stewards now. Go on, Gal. You said the other day.
He was going so fast. It was like the pitch invader was running backwards. That's like how fast he was going.
Yeah, but I don't know. Also, interestingly, when the first guy ran on the pitch, two stewards just went and marked the goalposts because I think they thought he was going to jam himself.
Yeah.
As in the fossil fuel.
Yeah.
Okay, quickly. We targeted breaks down the wings when their fullbacks pushed up. We lost out after the red. Yeah. The unfortunate question is, would you rather get to the semi by game management or going out? Because that's a good point.
Yeah,
it is.
I'd rather get to the semi using game management.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we're going to touch on player ratings, but yeah, Benny was very, very wasteful.
Don't get me started.
Yeah,
going to go
really
there.
was.
Nick's got a whole. He's got an old book written about it. So, where are we now? Not sure. Paul's spelt something wrong. Dembele is a can't. Wouldn't have got any decisions on Thursday and didn't. Antonio would have got a red if he didn't jump on the keeper.
You reckon?
I don't think he would have. I don't think he would have.
That's when Bowen ran down the wing, wasn't it, and put the ball in.
Yeah. I think he had every right to go for that because he was running at full belt. And look, don't get me wrong. I said on Facebook, John's got a different opinion. I think he had a bit of a Frank Bruno moment. I think he was traveling. He was traveling that quick that I think if he'd have gone for the ball because the keeper was coming out, he would have gone through the keeper. And I think that's why Antonio pulled out. I don't think he should have. I think he should have followed through. But look, he busted a gut to get there. He just run 70 yards at full pelt. And I think you've got a different opinion on it, though, John, haven't you?
I've got two takes on it in so much as first of all, if he was an instinctive striker, a la Alan Shearer, Gary Lineker, he would have, without doubt, just gone for the ball and took a clattering, right? But for me, what he's done is it's almost like he's assumed that the keeper is coming full pelt towards him, and all he's got to do is stand still almost, and he's going to get clattered and win a penalty. But little did he know that the keeper sort of pulled out as well. They both sort of pulled out. It was like the worst game of chicken in the world, you know. And then the ball just. I don't know what happened. The keeper picked it up, but I think he was waiting to be hit. That's how I'll give it. That's how I took it.
Yeah, possibly.
It was a shame because the keeper pulled out. If you watch the replay, all Antonio needs to do was literally get a little toe on that and lift it, and it would have gone in.
Yeah, I know, but like I say, I can't for his performance. That was another one where if Antonio gets a goal in that game, he's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
that's how good he was. Again, he was tremendous. So I can't knock him.
No. Good points here from both Matt and also Happy Hammerette. And I think you said it last night, Nick, and Gary probably as well, that Lanzini is back Thursday. And as one of you said to me last night, I can't remember who said it now, sorry. But you believe that he will dominate that centre midfield, didn't you?
I think he will. will. I mean, look, Fornals did well in that position, but we had, we'll get onto the players, but we had a player that was destroying our attacks in the first half. You can never criticise Ben Rama for showing for the ball. He always shows for the ball, but the minute he receives it in that attacking area, 9 times out of 10, nothing happens. It's dead. The attack is dead. He holds on to it for too fucking long. He picks the wrong pass. I can't tolerate him. I genuinely can't tolerate him. And yes, he had a moment of sheer magic. That ball over the top from Dawson, which was absolutely unbelievable. Was and the way he controlled it was world class.
Without breaking stride, he took it brilliantly.
It was world class. So he's capable of moments of magic, but they aren't often enough. And he's so wasteful. And you can't have players like that wasting chances. And that's why I said it before on the review. We have a go at Antonio for not scoring goals and not getting in positions. The last time he had a good chance created for him, Antonio, taking away the one last night from Jared Bowen. But the last time he had a really, really good chance was when Crystal Palace, the Ben Rama good ball in. That was fucking New Year's Day.
I've said that all along.
New Year's Day.
But I've said that before. A lot of it does come down to service.
Yeah, of course it does.
Or lack of, I should say. Garino's jumping ahead. I think we know who's getting the donkey this week.
Yeah. He deserves one.
That's pretty much it, I think, really, Gads. We can move on if you want to move on.
Yeah, that's good. Should we get into the player ratings?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, everyone. Right, obviously we're going to start on Areola, people. Start getting your bids. Not your bids.
Get your bids in.
Getting your votes in on Areola.
Don't mention auctions. Don't mention bids. You're going to upset.
Definitely don't mention auctions.
You don't know yet.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ratings, people. Let's get on to ratings.
Okay. Gary, have you cleaned up and got rid of all my overlays?
No, I haven't cleaned anything up.
Have you not?
No.
All right. Okay. No, it's fine. I'll blame you. All right. No, it's fine. Okay. Areola. Gary, what were your thoughts on Areola?
Areola, I'll give him a 7. I thought it was a good, solid performance, but I don't think he had too much to do, to be honest.
Eh?
No.
I don't.
No.
Areola?
I don't think he did.
Give him a 7. It was a good performance, good, solid performance, good distribution, but he didn't have much to do.
No.
I
agree with
you, John.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything great, but that's because he didn't have much to do. He did have a couple of weak, sort of caught in the rabbit headlight moments with punches, I think. Or so. But anyway, I'd still say a strong 7, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah. Okay. What's everyone saying in the chat? I think everyone's saying 6 and 7.
9, 8, 7.
He didn't have much to do, did he? There weren't much going on.
Very difficult to judge him,
Fred, this would be an interesting one. Fredericks. John.
Fredericks for me was all right. I know some people on Facebook and that were saying he had a great game. I don't think he had a great game. I think he was solid, but I think he got caught out a few times, if I'm honest, as well.
Yeah.
He wasn't below average. He had a good game, and I think I'll go with 7.
I think a 7 is fair. I think a 7 is fair. What about you, Go? You in agreement with that?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's. You made a good point today, Nick. I think sometimes Fredericks uses his pace to get himself out of trouble. So he'll make a balls up, and he can use the pace to get himself out of trouble. I don't think
he necessarily made many balls up.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. But I'm just saying he can do that. What he did when I watched the highlights back, and I didn't notice this in the live game, but when I watched the highlights back, I did notice that in the first half, whenever they went forward, they were going down Frederick's side, and they were playing that ball in between him and the centre half, right? And they did it a few times.
Yeah.
And so. He's able to catch him. He's able to catch him and close the door. But a couple of dangerous crosses did come in, especially that one that the guy, there was one particularly good attack they had where the striker got in front of the defender and it went just wide. Do you remember?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I just think he gives us I think when you look at Cresswell, Dawson, and Zuma, they're very slow, I think having Fredericks in there allows us to push further up the pitch a little bit. Because you've got that recovery pace. I know he doesn't make the best decisions all the time, and he isn't the best defender. But just purely on the basis that he has, he's got that pace. I think that does give us something that we need in defence.
But the problem with that is, Nick, like Paul said here, we say what we basically saying with Fredericks is he's not a good defender, and has got terrible crossing ability. So we're picking him purely because he's roadrunner.
But from a defensive perspective, John, I think because we saw it against Everton. I think he had a really good game against Everton.
Yeah, he did all right against Everton. Yeah,
he did. So, but look, I'm not saying he should start every game. I'm not saying that. No, but I think he's been all right. I think he's been all right. Anyway,
he hasn't been terrible considering he's coming from the cold almost.
Yeah. Right, let's move on to Cresswell. Gary, what were your thoughts on Cresswell?
Well, listen, right, he got sent off. Well. He got sent off harshly. He shouldn't have got sent off, but he did put himself in that position In other words, he was badly positioned when that attacker ran through. He shouldn't have let that happen. He should have forced him into the channel. He didn't. So
I'm giving Zuma some blame for that as well. He just stopped running.
Absolutely, and I'm going to come to that as well. Right? Yeah. If I had Zuma kept his pace up, then there's no way the referee would have sent him off. So I'm going to mark both of them down a point in my mind for that. So I'm going to go Cresswell 6.
Yeah. John, you happy with that? I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult for me because I would say as a defender, he had almost the whole of the first half and saw how pedantic and how whistle happy that referee was.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now
he got
himself caught on the wrong side, and as we know, he hardly touched Dembele. However, he did touch him. And the way that the Lyon players have been going down and the way that the referee's been falling for it for the whole game, that so far, you've put yourself in a situation where you're walking a tightrope straight away. And I'm not blaming him because at the end of the day, it's the referee's fault and it's the player's fault for conning the whole situation or influencing the whole situation. But as an experienced defender as he is, he should have just let Dembele have the shot.
Look, at the end of the day, John, at the end of the day, if you look at the still image where he's got hold of his arm, it looks like a foul. And that's the type of thing that they would look at on VAR anyway. So when you look at it like that, was it a clear and obvious error? Probably not, because I thought it was never ever a red card, not in a million years. Well, but like you say, if he hadn't put his hands on him, then there's no decision to make.
Would we have called for a penalty if it was on Antonio?
Yeah,
would we have called for a foul and a red card?
Not a red card, I don't think, but I would have. I don't
know. I don't know. Let's be honest. Football fans are fickle, right? When it's for you, you want it all. When it's against you, you're angry. Let's be honest. He did touch him, and the thing is, if VAR did watch it back, which they definitely did, they would have slowed it down. Like you said, it would have looked far worse anyway.
Yeah. So are we going 6 or are we downgrading him to a 5? Should he get a 5 for this?
Yeah, I mean, there's some people in the chat giving him 4s and that, but I'll be inclined to give him a 5.
I'll go with a 5. Yeah, I think I'm convinced.
5 it is. Okay, right. Let's move on to the next bloke. Well, I don't necessarily think he had a good game, and that's Kurt Zuma.
No.
And that was I don't think he did, and that was almost that there was no urgency there. That I can't really forgive him for that. Dembele was through on goal. Cresswell was obviously out of position. He was struggling. I can't work out why Zuma just stopped running. Physically, I don't get it. It was weird. It was a weird thing.
He didn't sense the danger, did he? He didn't sense the danger.
You could see the danger. It was through on goal.
He didn't see it though, did he?
No. No, it was strange.
He was thinking that Cresswell had it covered, and he shouldn't have even taken that chance.
No. I mean, again, for him,
Trodgers said the same thing. The Zuma a 5 ball watcher and didn't cover Cresswell.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'd feel a bit harsh to give him a 5 if I'm honest with you.
I'd give him a 6 personally.
I think he had a fairly good game, but was he brilliant? No. Was he at fault for the goal? Maybe, but I'm not going to give him a 5.
Well, listen, it was a contributing factor to the goal, but it wasn't his fault. He weren't the root cause, right?
Yeah. I think a 6 is fair. I think a 6 is fair. Right. Okay. We'll hand over to John for another dose of I told you so
Listen, we love West Ham. Look, have we not always loved unsung heroes? Have we not always loved that type of player who doesn't get the credit outside of the club and sometimes doesn't get the credit within the club? For me, people like Steve Potts, Ginger Pele and now Dawson are all akin to each other in so much as a lot of people look at them and think, what do they actually do? But then when you actually see what they give and the heart of a lion that he's giving you, I mean, I'm getting emotional now talking about it, but he's absolutely immense. The guy's come from sitting, I know we've said it before, sitting on the bench at Championship Watford to basically, in my mind, marking some of the best players, let's be honest, marking out some of the best players in European competition within a matter of 18 months, 2 years or whatever it is. I think he deserves a lot of credit. And the coaching staff deserve a lot of credit because they've obviously given him a lot of coaching, and he's been able to take it on board. But you've got to give someone like Moyes credit, and that's the sort of player Moyes likes. Someone who is coachable and will listen without an ego, and I think he epitomises that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I'm going to go. I think the first time ever. I know. Look, you got 10 out of 10, but any there's a lot of people saying 9s in there. If anyone that hasn't seen it, go on Twitter.
Yeah, give him the angle.
There is literally there's a link to his game now. I'm saying it. He didn't just put a foot wrong. Everything he did was outstanding. I don't. You struggle to find a better central defensive performance, especially because Zuma wasn't on it next to him. You'll struggle to see a better defensive performance anywhere than that. It was obscene. He made the best pass of the game, and that weren't the only one. He played another one through to Antonio right through the middle. He's heading. He won every header, and he's tackling. There was that. I know. We've all seen those 3 tackles where he won the header, went through, bang, one tackle, bang, another one. But the best one was to Dembele on the corner of the box. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was the best one.
It was outrageous. Now for me, I'm sorry. I know I don't want to make a mockery of it, but I'm going to say 11 out of 10. I think he went above him. I think he went above him.
Give him 10. That's good enough.
I'd hate to be your accountant.
I think he was outrageous. Honestly.
He was outrageous, but 10 is the perfect performance.
That is literally the perfect game, isn't it?
Yeah,
he was. I'll give him a 10-star.
Yeah, and honestly, until I watched that clip earlier and saw all the different passes, because I remembered the one to Ben Rama. Yeah. But honestly, there were about another 5 or 6 he played up to Bowen, Antonio, and everybody, and he found Antonio every time, didn't he?
I know. And Antonio, every flick, Antonio was finding someone. That never happened.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I think if people want to see that clip, if they haven't already seen it, go onto our Twitter at Claret and Booze. Nick's reposted it on there. I hadn't seen it till Nick actually posted it earlier, but it does. It actually gives you goosebumps.
It's ridiculous, you know. But anyway,
Brexit Dawson legend.
Yeah. I'm gonna go early. He's getting man of the match now because no one else is getting out of him. So we're going to go Thomas Souček next. Gary.
I didn't think Thomas had a very good game. I thought both him and Rice, to be honest, I thought they were looking a little bit detached in the middle without the warm embrace of Lanzini keeping them together. So I'll go 6 for Souček. Yeah,
I thought he was a bit anonymous. To be honest, I think it was. He weren't bad. I think it was just an average game for Souček. And like I say, I think it was just as well. It could have been the fact that I think we were playing very direct yesterday. It was working. It was effective. But I do think we were bypassing midfield a lot as well.
I think we were, but I also think that Declan Rice was playing within himself because he didn't want to get booked.
Rightly so. We couldn't have him getting booked.
I know. So that's what I'm saying. We were handicapped in several different ways. Without Lanzini there, Souček couldn't get forward as much as he usually does. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was. Yeah. All right. Okay. Do you accept that, John? I think that's a fair assessment.
I said to you lot on the WhatsApp after the game, that was probably one of his most anonymous performances for me. I actually, and I'm not critical of him. I like Thomas Souček, you know I do. But to me, it's a good point you made, actually. Maybe because we were playing more direct, that Declan and Souček were being missed out. I didn't think of that. But I found him very, very anonymous at times. And at times, I actually forgot he was on the pitch, and it sounds terrible when I'm not slagging him off. But genuinely,
he does have games like that. He has games like that. I'll tell you what it is, John, because he's box to box. So whereas Rice does hold his position in that sort of central defensive midfielder, he's always there. He's in the middle of the park. Souček, he's box to box, and when he's off it, he's behind the attack, and then he's too late getting back. So he almost is out of the game when he's not on it, you know. But he's not like that every game. I think he's actually starting to find his form again. But that weren't his best performance yesterday. It weren't.
No, I mean, I'd say 6 is. I think 6 is fine for me.
Do you think 6 is right for Rice as well? It was an average game from Rice, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know you have to judge it. You have to judge it, but we're judging it by his usual spectacular performances. He was solid. He was trying it a bit. He was strong. I don't know. No one saw his kick out, impetuous that he kicked out at someone in the second half. No one saw it.
No, I didn't see it. So I mean, that was.
I didn't.
I can't believe he did it. If that is the case,
it was early in the second half. He got the ball. He marauded down, and they sort of pushed him out to the right as we was attacking.
yeah.
And he had 3 or 4 round him. They've nicked the ball off him. They broke away, and he just kicked this geezer. And for the first time, one of the kick, you would have thought the bloke he kicked would have started rolling around, but he didn't. But he definitely kicked out of the guy.
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
Yeah, sloppy if that is the case.
Yeah, he got lucky with it, believe me. But
okay, well look, I'm going to go on Pablo Fornals. I think, like I said before, I think on previous weeks we always give him a good score because he works for the team. He's a player that doesn't play for himself; he does play for the team. Generally, when you put him out on the wing, he spends more time covering Cresswell than he does getting forward. He hasn't really got the pace to get forward with a quick counter attack. So a lot of his hard work and his good work goes unnoticed. But when you play him in the middle, it's a different story. And he was fucking outstanding yesterday. I mean that as well. He's another one. I think if he'd have got a goal, we'd have been up there with the 9s and 10s. So for me, I'm not too sure what you all think in the chat. I haven't got a clue, but for me, Pablo Fornals, I probably would go. He was by far the best of the 3. I'd go 8 probably for Pablo. I think he was superb.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. I think he very rarely lets you down, and like you said, when he's in the centre, I think he can show a little bit more guile that he has.
Yeah.
When he plays a left or right, he seems to quite rightly take his defensive duties more seriously than some, and maybe that loses a little bit of his creativity. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute. Just going to interrupt, Nick. On your say-so, Freshfield has watched the clip, but he said, yes, Dawson 11.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing.
It is amazing. I don't think you won't see a better defensive performance. It's outrageous.
Give him 11. He deserves it just for that clip alone. Go on.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Never
Nick,
been done
you're mad.
before.
You went. Someone told me you did 6.5 the other day. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, decimals can still fuck off. We're not doing decimals. Right, John, there you go, mate. Bowen, you can have Bowen because I'm having Ben Rama.
Yeah, you're having. Oh God. Okay, so Bowen for me was quite quiet first half. And the funny thing was, I said it to you, Nick and Gal, probably the other day. It was almost like Lyon thought, right, let's mark Bowen out of the game.
Yeah.
And by doing that, they almost said, let's let the other fella, Ben Rama, have the ball. I don't think he was brilliant first half. But as I said, I think they stifled him quite well. But, as the game went on, he got better. He worked very hard. He didn't have a lot of opportunities to show what he's about. He's attacking threat and that. But you've got to give him credit for the way he took the goal. I think he turned fantastically well to sort of just pan and hit it. Sometimes that's all you got to do. I'm going to say an 8 for me for Bowen.
I agree with that. I think there was some real. He works tirelessly, and he had some real high quality attacking moments as well.
Yeah,
that little run that he made down the left to play the ball in for Antonio. When you watch it, if you haven't seen it again, watch it back because it was magnificent. He terrorised him in the second half a few times, as well as scoring a goal. So 8 all day long.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to move on to Ben Rama.
Wait for it. We're just going to put a disclaimer out there. It is after 9 o'clock after the watershed, and if anyone's offended, we do apologise in advance. Nick does not talk to all of us. Well, he does in this occasion, but
I know. Right, Saeed Ben Rama. He showed in that game why he is so frustrating to me, and that is, like I say, he went from world class to utter shit. He does it in a blink of an eye, and that was because he showed you with his ability. That was a wonderful pass from Craig Dawson. That it was right over the top. But that weren't easy to control what he did there, and he did it. He was running at pace, and he took it in his stride. Like I said, he didn't even break stride. It was that good, and it was a good shot as well on his weaker foot. That was great. That was all he did. That was all he did for the rest of the time. Well, no, it weren't all he did. That's the problem. Because I'd rather he just disappear from the fucking game at that point rather than waste everything. Because what he does is he shows for the ball. He takes far too many touches. In every situation, if you watch Lanzini in the middle or you watch Fornals, they'll get the ball, they'll play fast interplay, they'll turn it over, they'll move the ball, they'll move. Benny can't release the fucking thing.
Yeah,
He can't.
yeah.
He has to hold it, he has to ponder it, he has to think about it. You can't do that at this level. You physically can't do it. He drives me fucking mad. His decision making is shocking. It is so bad. You know, and he is capable of great things, which is why it annoys me. I wouldn't have the ump with him quite so much if I didn't think he had so much ability. I do think he's got ability, but I think he is a fucking waster. And I honestly, he drives me nuts. And I think you've said it before, John. He's a match of the day player. People will watch his highlights on the game and they'll go, "Oh, look, he's brilliant," because of the two good things that he did. But you don't see all of the other stuff that where he just misplaced. He done it after 5 minutes, didn't he? Yes, he did track back and he did win the ball back, which everyone was giving him credit for. Well, fucking right, he did track back because he gave the ball away straight away. So no, for me, I am sorry that was. I can't.
I'll tell you what, he's so disappointing because every single game, what he does is he will go on some magnificent little run where he does something beautiful, like he did with that ball over the top from Dawson. Fantastic bit of skill, ends up with the lamest left-footed shot you're ever going to see, right?
Yeah.
And that's what happens all the time. He'll like win a ball in the the game we were watching last week against Everton. He'll win a ball in the middle. He'll look up to take a shot, and he'll basically do a back pass. He will cut in from the right-hand side of the box. You know, no defenders near him. You're waiting for him to play the killer pass. He fucking floats the ball over the top of everyone. Well, he just fails to deliver that final ball every time, doesn't he? Every single time.
He hugs the byline, but he can't cross.
You got to remember when he was at Brentford. You got to remember when he was at Brentford, he never turned up for the big games, right? You remember watching him in the playoff final. Yeah. I don't watch many other teams' playoff finals, but I thought this bloke's supposed to be pretty good, and we're being linked with him, so I thought I'll have a watch. Fucking anonymous, didn't turn up.
Yeah,
you know, but
he just makes bad decisions. He makes bad decisions. I mean, look, even with kids' football, right? You can see it it's decision making. You'll get some players that when they receive a ball to feet, they'll run. They'll do the right thing. They'll knock the ball into space and they'll run. They'll go down the wing. You've got other players that will just turn into trouble. You know, they'll turn into a crowd of players. He does that. He's that player. He makes. He's I've called him a show pony before. He's got amazing technical ability. But his football brain is not there. Not at the top level. I am sorry. Not in any way.
I think Freshfielder there makes a great point. He's got great control, sometimes recovering the ball, he's got some great positives. But when he's trying to beat the same player 2, 3, 4 times, you think, what are you doing? That is playground football. Someone else said it is playground football, and it's so true. It's like a game of FIFA. You know, when you press all the buttons to do the same bit. Yeah. And for me, the thing is with Benrahma is, look, there's no player that I want to wish bad. Right? I want all the players to come good.
Absolutely.
And like you said, Nick, time and time again, we know he's got potential, but it just doesn't seem to be sinking in up here. And then you have to question his football brain as a footballer, because you can't get to that level, even championship level. You have to be an intelligent footballer, don't you? I don't know what he's trying to prove.
You think so?
You know, is he trying to prove Moyes a point? Is he trying too hard? Is it the fact that he feels like he's a scapegoat with Moyes, that he feels he's got to do something out of the ordinary? But like you alluded to, kids, you know, my boy plays football, your boy plays football. From a very early age, they are told nothing and no one moves faster than the ball.
Exactly.
So get the ball moving. 1 touch, 2 touch, pass it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, you know? I know. He drives me fucking mad. So look, he's getting a 4. He's getting a donkey head.
Listen, I'll be back.
He's a donkey.
I've got a bit of an emergency. There seems to be some strange noise coming from outside my shed. I'll be back in a sec.
Strange sir.
It's probably in his ear. Look, because he's got headphones in. Look, hang on. Right. Right. I was going to give Gary Antonio, John, but he's all yours.
Well, again, a lot of people got a question Antonio because he didn't score. And
I think he was amazing. I think it was an
amazing. I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say I think he was amazing. I think he was very good. I'm not going to say he was amazing because he probably should have been a bit more braver on the Bowen chance that he created from the second half.
Yeah.
We discussed that already. But for his sheer work ethic and the fact that, let's be honest, and I'm harping on about it, and I know I sound like a broken record, but I ain't been on for 4 weeks, so people may not remember what I said, but Antonio, to me, works tirelessly. He's the most selfless player.
Absolutely.
No one could do what he does. The fitness of that man. He comes off sweating buckets all the time. Okay, question his positioning, question the fact that why is he out on the wing? Why is he not scoring the goals? What he does is work for the team.
Yeah.
You know, I know people with that chance, Michael just said it in the chat, old Father Jack's still around, is he? Jesus. He said Antonio's a bottle job. No, I don't think he's a bottle job. He's just not an out-and-out striker, and he doesn't have the instinct of somebody like Alan Shearer, Tony Cottee. They would have just gone for that without even thinking. Yeah.
You made a good point last night about Antonio as well, Nick, right? You know that chance that he missed that he could have lifted over the keeper that he pulled out of?
Yeah.
It was only Antonio's pace and work that got him into position to do that in the first place.
He busted the gut. 70 yards he'd sprinted from behind halfway, and it was crazy. And like I say, it was. I think John might be right. Maybe he was waiting for contact and he was looking for the. But I don't know. He was right there. He only needed to get his foot on that, and that was a goal. I think that he was travelling that quick. If he had gone for the ball, I think he would have gone through the keeper. He'd have killed the keeper. Yeah, he would have. But it was an important chance.
I mean, in the chat, most people saying 8s. Father Jack's had a few shandies. He's calling him all sorts of names. I won't go into that. But look, Lawrence, mate, you make a great point. But it's a point that we know. We know we need that elusive clinical striker. Unfortunately, we haven't got that, and we haven't had it for 2 years or more. And this man has, let's be honest, he's filled a void on his own. And you're going to judge him on goals.
But the thing is equally, I'm going to put this to Lawrence at the moment, as we've already said on this show. At the end of the day, Antonio doesn't get tons and tons of chances. He doesn't. No. So Antonio's chances, 9 times out of 10, he creates himself. That's what he does. So how many strikers can do that? Yes, you might be able to go and get a Haller, for instance, who we had before. You might be able to go and get one of these clinical strikers. No, a clinical striker, but someone who hasn't got the other attributes that can do what he does, because we don't have amazing quality from wide areas. We don't create tons of good chances for our striker. We literally don't. So if you might have that clinical player. For instance, in the Everton game, would Dominic Calvert-Lewin have been better for us than Antonio in that game?
No.
He wouldn't have been, No. And if Antonio was clinical and he finished every chance he got, he would not be at West Ham.
No, listen. I think some people do kind of assume that a striker is going to come in, do everything that Antonio does, and score goals. Right?
Ain't gonna happen.
It's I think the ideal situation would be to have Antonio playing on the left and a striker playing up front, that kind of thing.
You still need him in the team. Yeah.
This is a great question from Gatesy. Would you swap Mikel Antonio for Moussa Dembele?
No.
Oh, would you not? You wouldn't swap him for him?
I wouldn't swap him. I
think they're very similar, though.
I don't know. I wouldn't swap him. No, I wouldn't swap him for Dembele. No. The winker from Lyon.
Yeah, but before
he's not even a Lyon first team player normally. They've got other strikers that normally play in front of him.
Really, he's got about 50 goals. He's got about a 1 in 2 goal ratio for them.
Not this season. He always was. But they've got players that are in front of him at the moment. So
I wouldn't swap Antonio. Period. I want Antonio in our team. I also want to have another striker that we can use as a plan B and possibly alongside Antonio.
I think Happy Amaret's right. I would essentially like to see Antonio back on the right wing.
Same here.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go with that. I think Antonio and Bowen on either side with a proper clinical striker up top. That'd be a bit threatening, wouldn't it?
It'd be tasty, wouldn't it? Be tasty.
I'm not being funny. Antonio can create as well. He's a provider. I mean, the best cross of this season was from Antonio to Souček. But anyway, what we giving him, an 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be giving him an 8.
Right, how did Johnson do when he came on?
Well, he had a tough job, didn't he?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, he really he stuck to his task. He did get outnumbered a few times, and I think he did get well. The cross came in down his side, obviously, but it was always going to come down that side, wasn't it? It was always going to in the second half. So yeah, 7 I think would be fair for him.
I think that's fine as well. And then we'll go on to the Moisés. John, let me know what you think about him. Last one in this one.
I think he's getting to the point now where we know he knows what he's doing. He sets them up the right way. I do honestly think that he should have been a bit more. Get them up in the, as they would say, get up in their grill a bit more from the off, because I think we let them settle very, very quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, what can you say? He got a 1-1 draw against Lyon with 10 men. He made the changes which he had to do, so you could say his hand was forced somewhat. But we didn't make it. We didn't make another sub, did we?
No, we didn't make another sub.
I must say, when it was getting to like 85, 86 minutes, I was sort of thinking, please bring on someone for Rice, because I was concerned about him getting that yellow.
Yeah.
So for me, but apart from that, he done well. 7.
I think so. I think I'm with you. I wasn't overly keen on the way that we started. I think we did show them too much. Well, I don't know if we showed them too much respect. We just we stood up. For whatever reason, we weren't. There was no intensity at the start from us. Might have been nerves. Could have just been nerves. But I do think he redeemed himself by the way that he kind of got the team together, and we came out better with 10 men. I think I've got to give him credit for that. So I'm a 7 or an 8 for Moyes yesterday.
The only thing I would say is that their team. That I don't look at their team and think, oh wow, they've got him. They've got Emerson. Emerson's on loan from Chelsea. Ndombele's on loan from Tottenham, so they couldn't make it in the Premier League for whatever. Boateng at the back, he's 34, 35, I think. I don't look at their team and there's no real fear there for me. I don't.
No. No, look, we can't take him for granted. We've got to perform, but if we perform, we're going to beat them. Like I said, we went up against them with 10 men. They threw everything at us. They had like 4 attackers on the pitch at one point. And we had a dismembered defence because Cresswell was gone.
We got to treat this for what it is, right? This is a shit or bust game. It's a final. This is like us going to Seville, right? We've got to go over there and not leave anything off the pitch.
You know what the problem now is, though, didn't you? Because of the results today and the slip ups by Man U, Arsenal, and that, people quite rightly are saying we need 3 points tomorrow. But the problem is now are some of them players going to be going into that game a little bit thinking, oh, Thursday's bigger than this? How do you get the mindset right? I know there's not much we can change anyway.
I know what you mean.
But it's really difficult, isn't it? Because you just think...
That's Moyes' job, though, isn't it? That's Moyes' job.
I think if you listen to like Antonio, he said recently he loves playing 2 games a week because he's been used to doing that from way back when he played in the Championship and whatever. And he'd rather play more games and do less training, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. This is a good, isn't it? This is now a grudge match. It truly is.
Oh, it is now.
Really
is. It is. Yeah, but look, on the whole, I'm more than happy with how it went. It is a shame about Cresswell. I don't think he'll get overturned either. Really, no. He probably won't. So we're going to be without him in the next leg. I think Johnson will do a fine job. He'll be okay. He'll do well. And like I say, that the important one is Lanzini. So we'll get Ben Rama out the team on the bench, because I think Ben Rama ain't bad as an impact player. He's all right off the bench. He can offer you something a little bit different. Lanzini in the middle, just doing what he does, keeping that ball moving. We'll cut him open. With Bowen in the team as well. With Bowen on the right, Fornell's getting forward, getting close to Antonio. Oh, it's going to be tasty. I'm looking forward to it.
What Gates has just said there about Metz, that's what immediately came to mind the other day when I was thinking about this game.
Yeah.
I think it's also important to tell people about the yellow cards now, because a lot of people are a bit confused about, Cresswell. So, Gal, you know a bit more about this. So, Cresswell's getting how long?
Yeah, Cresswell's just got a 1-match ban. They can extend it to 2 if they look at it and realise it was dangerous play or something, but realistically, that's not going to happen. Yeah. West Ham could also appeal if they wanted to, but the danger of appealing, which is why we won't, is that they could extend the ban to 2 or 3 games. So it's just not worth it. It's not worth it.
And yellow cards now. So if Deck gets a yellow card, it doesn't matter, does it?
It doesn't matter because they get zeroed out after the quarterfinal.
Which is good news.
Right. Exactly. Really good news.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, that's That's it for the Lyon game. We'll close that, Gary, and I think we'll just move on to your section.
Excellent, good stuff.
And now, for our Claret and Booze news. Well, Hammer's news, not the rest of the shit that we don't care about. Being delivered expertly and succinctly, that's easy for you to say, by our very own Gary.
Right, okay, so 3 stories tonight. We're going to start off with, guess who? He likes a bung. That referee loves a bung. I'm just going to explain the, go into the background of that a little bit. Then we'll do a season ticket update. There was some news on the season ticket rises this week. It wasn't 20% after all. And then we'll talk about the West Stand upgrade, because there's going to be lots of work going on for that over the summer, which is a good thing. But firstly, this man, our favourite referee. So, look, the Lyon game, we've just discussed it. It was memorable for so many reasons. And having him a glass half full, I'll always remember that incredible second half performance. And the team full of heroes, gave everything to keep us in the competition. But it'll be remembered for one of the worst refereeing performances I've ever seen. Felix Zweier, referee extraordinaire for all the wrong reasons. In 2005, Zweier was found guilty of match fixing in Bundesliga 2 when he was assistant to Robert Heuser, who was a serial match fixer. Zweier was reported to have accepted a €300 bung, so it was quite cheap. But he was also the person, and note this, he was also the person who blew the whistle on Heuser, the serial match fixer, to the German Football Association. So, and as he was the whistleblower, Zweier only got a 6-month ban while Heuser was banned for life. Now, the mind boggles here. Did Zweier do that because he realised he was going to get caught and his number was up and he did it to save his own neck? Who knows? It sounds very likely and very fishy to me. And the worst thing about this is the German FA and everybody tried to cover that up, right? You'd think, wouldn't you? And this point was made by Happy Amaret as well in the chat earlier, that this would have cast a shadow at least over his career progression as a referee. But instead, is now a top UEFA official taking charge of high-profile European games. His ego knows no bounds, as we saw. He couldn't get that red card out quick enough. I'd actually moved from my seat, and I was sitting behind the disabled seats, right near where Cresswell made the challenge or not. And I was standing there watching it, thinking, oh, that's nothing. He literally reached into his back pocket without giving it a second thought and got that red card out. So he also booked David Moyes for protesting. He's a walking ego who wants all the headlines to be about him. A trait he demonstrated when he upset Dortmund, the Dortmund pair, Haaland and Bellingham, for his terrible performance in the Dortmund v Munich clash. Bellingham went on to make a serious accusation about his match fixing past, and he was fined for it. So again, the German FA trying to brush it under the carpet and say, you can't talk about this. It's typical of UEFA to create this situation. I believe in second chances, but for this guy to be taking charge of this sort of game, it's a stain on football, let's face it. Let's hope at the very least, he would have been assessed at that game. And let's hope that assessment was terrible for such an abhorrent performance. And hopefully that'll stop him officiating big games, anytime soon. But I won't hold my breath because it's UEFA we're talking about. So, yeah, look, questions to you, John. How is this prick even allowed to referee?
Is that his middle name, is it?
Yeah.
Mate, I genuinely don't know how you get away with it. It's like you said, he's been caught red-handed in the past. And what he's done is he's basically said, fair cop, you've caught me. However, I'm going to throw these under the bus because I know they've done far worse. And to me, it stinks. But are we surprised? Remember Sepp Blatter? Sepp Blatter was involved with various things over the years. The whole thing with World Cups going to places that it probably shouldn't. It's all to do with money, corruption. And the thing that really disappointed me was that, and I said it at the start, is that throughout the whole of our campaign in the Europa League so far, I've been very impressed with the officiating, right? I've been very impressed with the amount of stuff that they let go for both sides. It's not generally finicky. The whistle ain't blowing every second. But with him, and this is before I realised it was the guy who Jude Bellingham spoke out about, obviously, back in the
I know.
I didn't know it was him. And I was thinking, this guy's a fucking joke. Like, what is he doing? He's dodgy ref and all that. You say all these things instantaneously. It just comes out of your mouth. And it wasn't until you alluded to it on our WhatsApp group that I realised, Jesus, it is the guy that was done for corruption. And it's almost like it's one of them situations where he must believe in his own ego. Because in my mind, to do such a public job where you're on display all the time, where you get caught cheating, and to still want to put yourself in the public eye, where you know everything you do will be scrutinised, it's either a case of the guy is an arrogant, as you called him a minute ago, or he just feels he's untouchable. And either or, look, we've only experienced him in this one-off game, but how is he refereeing Bundesliga matches?
Well, let me show you this face. Make a judgment for yourself. Does his face show arrogance?
Yeah, of course it does.
Look at him. Look at him. Fucking loves himself, doesn't he?
He's not even looking, is he? He's looking.
It's diabolical. The whole situation is it just defies belief, really, that this can happen.
Yeah. Anyway, look, we've done this one to death. So look, let's move on to a new story. I mean, look, just one final word, right? And that is, touched on it a few times already. I'd just like to compliment all of the UEFA officials we've had refereeing our game so far this year. They've been magnificent. They've actually been a lot better than some of our English referees, to be fair, because I don't fall for the nonsense. You know,
did you hear the Jason Cundy one? Sorry, Gal, on TalkSport. Did you hear his take on it?
No, go on.
He went mad. He was with us. He said it was never, because it weren't even a foul. He said that's not even a foul in my mind. And he said, I've been saying for years, he said, we all in this country, he said, bear in mind, in the Premier League, it's the fastest league in the world. He said he thinks our refs do make mistakes, but they get an unfair rap. He said they do make mistakes, but he said he watches a lot of European football, and he said it's the other way around. He said people have got it wrong. He said the standard of refereeing in Europe is rubbish. He said it is terrible. And he said the play acting that you see from European football is testament of that. That is why these teams do it, because they get away with it. And that was what Cundy said. He said, we've all got this, because we're so down on our own refs, because, you know, we don't get our own way. We automatically think everyone else is different. Cundy said, no. He said, it's wrong. He said, there are good refs in Europe, but he said the lion's share of them, he said, they're rubbish. They're absolutely rubbish. That's what he said.
Fair enough.
So I would just say as well, I'm going to go through some of the comments in a minute, Gal, on it. It's quite a few in the chat, mate, before you move on. But just quickly, someone did say it in the comments, and it actually jogged my memory. There was a time in the second half where we was hanging on a little bit, and Bowen chased someone down. I can't think who it was, and he got, the guy was rolling around off the pitch after a Bowen challenge. Bowen got yellow carded for nothing.
I know. Bowen didn't touch him, did he?
He
didn't touch him.
The guy who was rolling around off the pitch, as soon as the referee put the ball down, free kick, he's standing by the referee, like almost having a chat with him, almost like cheers, ref. And you just think,
and that's my point. Unless you want to do this, unless you want to help the team out, this is my theory. You know, you would, or unless you're fucking stupid, you would see. You would see very early on that someone is going down, holding their face. You give a free kick, suddenly they're up and bouncing and running around, right?
Yeah.
You might let them get away with it once. You might let them get away with it twice, right? But they got away with it for the whole fucking game. So that to me smacks of something a little bit more.
If you're a referee, Gary, would you not feel like you just they've
like a mug, like a mug? Yeah.
I know.
One question I haven't asked. Is he going to be in charge of the second leg?
No.
Definitely not. Yeah?
Well, it hasn't happened so far. We've had different referees for each leg in all of our games so far.
Right. Okay. Not that I want him or anything, obviously.
No.
God, it'd be a disaster if he turned up, wouldn't it? God, imagine that.
All right, let's just have a look at some of the comments very quickly. So Gatesy said, so a referee admits taking a bung at a top level Euro match. Next, Prince Andrew will get a job as a blue.
Brilliant.
So he is a grass as well. Yes, and in my neck of the woods, that is the worst type of criminal, being a grass. Yeah. Another touchy subject. It's like Jimmy Savile getting a show with you. That's why refs have so many back pockets on their shorts.
Yeah.
Happy Hammer X, she's mixed him up there. Felix Dean. Yeah, this is it from Paul Riley. The Bowen yellow card was a disgrace, even worse than the red.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't disagree. That was shocking. Yeah, we did let you ref again in 6 months as long as you did everything we say.
Yeah.
The referee was buying everything Lyon was selling. Embarrassing. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. I was so angry watching that. Where is it? Hang on. I was so angry watching that. Cox should never have been allowed to referee.
Yeah. No.
Give us nothing, Garino. We all saw exactly what we saw. And the thing is you do sometimes question, am I just being an overzealous fan who thinks the world's against us? But genuinely, that guy, he couldn't get any worse than being against us there. If he weren't being paid, then, have to go. I joined your channel about a month ago and love it. We can't love it that much, mate. You're off.
Cheers, Lawrence.
See you later, Lawrence.
I'm only joking. Here we go. Just quickly. Anyone who has a serious injury plan in any sports knows 100% that if you are badly hurt, you do not roll around. When a player does that, you know they are faking it. Exactly that. Exactly that. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Okay. Good stuff.
Right. Well, we've put that referee to bed. I hope we never see that referee again, ever officiating a West Ham game. But anyway, let's move on to story number 2, something a little bit more pleasant. So you might have seen this news already, but following recent rumours that season tickets will rise by around 20%, it was reported last week that the actual rise will be in the region of 5%. Now, I can't help thinking we were being prepared for a small rise with a much bigger number. But either way, a rise is a rise, and I suppose we were due one after a few seasons of static prices. West Ham have also changed concession pricing so that the under 16 band will now become the under 18 band, which is really good. So that keeps for band 5 and 6, it keeps the new under 18 band. So if your kid is 16, turning 17, you don't have to pay for an adult ticket. You carry on paying until they're 19, basically. £99 for bands 5 and 6, and even band 4 is only 105 quid. So I think that's really good. So it's still the cheapest place to take a young family to watch Premier League football. There's also a new entry level adult season ticket costing 299 quid, the cheapest season ticket in London for a Premier League club. I'd feared, and this is just me again, I had feared that the club were trying to reduce the number of season ticket holders in order to drive bigger revenues for selling individual tickets. But with this new ticket, perhaps I was wrong. Perhaps I was being a bit too cynical. Or maybe there are only about 20 of these tickets available. I don't know. Being fair to the club, I think they are staying true to their commitment of providing affordable football at a time when wallets are being squeezed with a cost of living crisis, etc. I realise 5% will have a bad impact on some people, and I don't want to be blasé about it, but probably 5% across 3 years is quite reasonable, and it's below the current inflation rate, which is at 6%. So again, Nick, you haven't got a season ticket at the moment, but John, you have. So we come to you, John, on this one. Do you think the club are delivering on their promise of cheap football? Are you happy with the 5%?
Yeah, I mean, look, as you said, the 20% that was put out there could have well been a fantastic marketing tool, couldn't it? People, myself included, quite angry about a possibility of a 20% rise. The rumours are fed out there. We get it from our reliable sources, and then all of a sudden, a week later, they're told they're telling us, "Oh, actually, it's only going to be 5%," which 5% is better than 20. However, let's not underestimate that any increase will have upon families, people. I'm lucky. I have a good living. And my son's ticket is not going to increase at all, 99 quid. I can't question that. That is fantastic. It works out, a £5 a game for him for home league matches. And my increase isn't going to be massive either, over 5%. But some people will struggle. And yes, you could say the club are doing well, still running out cheap football. But the thing is, Gal, I still sort of think the timing's wrong. Any sort of increase will have an impact on some. Right. And we have to think about everybody here. We can't just go, "Oh, I'm all right, Jack." There will be people that will already be struggling to pay for season tickets, and they may have got it on a monthly or whatever you called it. But do we really, did they with the run we've had in the Europa League, with the success we've had in the Europa League, and with the added revenue of the Europa League, both getting through rounds and ticket sales, do they really need to increase it at all?
That's what I mean. In the grand scheme of things, 5%, is that going to make much difference to them? Really?
No,
Exactly that.
It's not in the grand scheme of things. It ain't going to make hardly any difference at all. It's not going to make a dent. So yeah, from that perspective, I think it's poor.
I'm just playing devil's advocate, but I
Yeah.
totally agree. The club are doing and keeping the ticket prices lower than anyone else's in London, right? And we know
Yeah.
that London is a fantastically expensive place to live. But what they've got to remember is their fans live in and around London or in the suburbs, so their cost of living is very high anyway. And any sort of impact, any sort of increase will have a massive impact on the not so well off. Let's be honest. I don't want to word it any other way and sound derogatory, but that's it.
No.
And I don't think they even needed to increase it. What is 5% to West Ham?
Yeah, no, I know. I'd like to know what the total number is. I mean, I don't know what the revenue number is for season tickets. Overall. I'm going to come to something in the next story, which is there's a sort of twist on the next story, which is quite interesting, and a few people have already mentioned it in the chat, talking about the new West End development. But yeah, they're clearly trying to squeeze more expensive tickets in. I think sometimes these notifications, these announcements can be used as a bit of a marketing ploy. So I know I said it tongue in cheek about the 299 adult season tickets, but I would genuinely like to know how many of them there are available.
Yeah, I would.
Because you could sell 10 and say you've got the cheapest one in the league, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. There aren't going to be many, Gary, are there? Let's face it.
No, I wouldn't say so.
There aren't going to be many.
But the good thing is freezing of the kids' prices, and I think that's brilliant.
I think
of extending the ban from under 16 to under 18, because I know when I was buying their season tickets, it was always a bit of, I think it went from under 16 to under 21 prices and then to adult prices after that, but it was still a fair bump. I think I seem to remember going from under 16 kid to under 21.
Yeah. What do you think, Nick?
I'm with you, John, completely. I think look, we're 5% isn't going to make any difference to them from a revenue perspective. It's not in a grand scheme of things. If you look at that collectively, it's probably not even going to buy half. It's not going to pay half a player's wages. I don't quite see why you would do that and risk any bad press. I think it would just look better on them. At the moment, mind you, look, we know they don't care about winning favour with the West Ham fans, but they are still cheap. They are still affordable. But nonetheless, an increase is an increase, as you've said. People are being squeezed at the moment, so people are budgeting. So any increase is going to potentially hurt someone. I just think the gesture would have been better. We are a working class club. That is our fan base as well.
Not unless you live in Mayfair, though.
Yeah, no, I know. Still. But yeah, I just kind of, I think it's bad. I think it's poor, and obviously, yeah, as we all know, we got duped with the 20% thing. That was leaked by the club, and it was said as an April Fool's, but quite clearly they've just played that trick. They've just said 20%, so that when they come out and then say it's 5%, we go, well, it ain't that bad. Then it ain't that bad.
No,
exactly. But any increase at the moment, I think, especially why even do it? Why even do it? That's nothing, It's just a gesture. The gesture of increasing prices at the moment is wrong, I think, in my mind.
Yeah. I think we all agree on that. I think anything that could help people with the cost of living crisis should be, it smacks of opportunism. But I think what I'd like to do is compare it. I'd like to see how the other London clubs are increasing their tickets and compare it with our peers. I know it's been zero for the last couple of years.
Yeah, no, I know.
It has been zero for the last couple of years, and we as fans.
It's COVID, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we have to be in top. We have to be grateful. Look, listen, we give them a lot. We give them a lot of stick, right? We do give them a lot of stick, but they have in essence stuck to their word with prices, right? And they have, even in this instance, they have gone with probably the smallest possible rise they could think of. But like I said, look, us three, we work, we've got good jobs, we can afford the rise, and that's not being blasé about it. But you have to think of people that can't. That might make a difference too. So,
absolutely. So look, I'm going to take us on to the third one now, and this one, it's going to start out sounding sort of okay, but then when we get to the end of it, it probably won't sound quite so okay. So, sorry, 1 second. I got that bloody noise outside my shed again. So look, the West Stand upgrade. So I sit in the Bobby Moore lower, and I've got to say, bringing the stand closer to the pitch has made a significant difference to the atmosphere where I sit. I also love the aesthetics. It looks great on the telly, I think. And so changing those two end stands gets a massive thumbs up from me. Thought it was a good move. This week, the club announced the next phase in developments to make the West Stand, so that's the main stand, right, where all the directors sit, more appealing. It has all the executive boxes, the most expensive seating, but it also has the biggest gap. As you can see in this picture, actually, this massive gap between the upper tier and the lower tier. This summer, the club will change the configuration and bring the West Stand lower tier closer to the pitch. They will also bring the upper and lower tiers closer together. The change will introduce 800 new seats, bringing the new capacity for next season up to 62,500, which is only 350 below that of Spurs. And in the coming seasons, we'll see applications to increase even more as we also open up the seats right up in the gods, make further stadium configurations. So the rumour is we could extend our capacity eventually to 66 or 67,000. And you know, I think as we've seen in recent games, more the merrier in that stadium. You really want a big crowd packed to the rafters in there, right? In order to generate an atmosphere, because the place is so damn big. When it's in there, when we do have a massive crowd in there, it's packed to rafters, it can actually be pretty good. So the club will also, that's all the good stuff. The club will also be introducing swathes of new Club London tickets, and I don't think they exist over in that stand at the moment, meaning that existing West Stand residents from the lower tier will be moved aside and probably split up. And it's exactly what they did when they reconfigured the Bobby Moore and Trevor Brooking lower. And I'll give you a personal experience from my cousin Paul. He's got I don't know, he's got him and his 2 kids and his dad, 4 tickets together, plus they were next to a load of mates. When they reconfigured and flattened off the end in the Bobby Moore lower, they split them all up. You had like 2 here, 2 there, and whatever else. And it sounds like they're doing exactly the same thing again, which is a dog's dinner. So they're clearly going to be given priority to building new, high price seats with Club London, and all those lovely seats down the front with the best view in the middle will be going to the higher paying customers. The rest of them will be cast aside. I've heard, various different horror stories on Twitter today with one person going from the front row to like right over in the corner. Now, that don't sound right to me. So it's clearly, even though it's going to make the stadium look better, it's clearly a move to make more sort of, to sell more expensive tickets, more premium tickets. So, Nick, what do you think about this?
Yeah, like I say, they've done it before. It stinks. It's the way they handled it before with the previous sort of reconfiguration, the way they shifted people around. It was disgusting. But this is obviously being that was just poor planning what they did there. This is being done for a different reason. This is being done because they want to make more profit. They want to, they people who have currently got those seats, if you like, they're going to be paying the same money. Well, actually, they're going to be paying a little bit more because of the increase. They're going to end up, they're going to be moved potentially away from people that, because don't get me, look, at the end of the day, when we shifted from the boat from Upson Park, part of the reason why you struggle to generate an atmosphere is because all of a sudden it's all changed. You're sitting around different people. You kind of, what's happened there is people have probably settled in. They've settled into where they are. They've built new relationships with people around them now. You know who you're sitting with. And to go and to keep fucking doing this is just, it's infuriating. And look, and this from a business perspective, I can understand why they're doing it. You know, if they are creating expensive premium seats. But what about the people that, because that isn't renewing your season ticket. If you've got a seat there, right, say you're right in the middle, and like you just said, up the front, for you to be paying more money, you're going to pay more money now, and you're going to potentially be shifted away from people that you're currently with and to another seat with a worse view. It stinks. It's completely wrong. There's nothing that we can do about it. They're going to do it anyway. But it's despicable, really. It really is. I can't.
There's one in here
it's so wrong.
There's a comment in here. Sorry, I'm evading your comments here.
Yeah.
Peter Jones, young lady in the disabled area, West Stand, received a text from West Stand telling her that they will be moved because of alterations, squaring off the pitch, etc. So it's even affecting people in the disabled section. So that's not great. That's not great. They've got to look after these people.
No.
Is it not what we've, again, I'm playing devil's advocate, is it not what a lot of us have been asking for, though, to make the stadium more of a football stadium? And in effect, that is going to have this sort of effect, rightly or wrongly, isn't it?
But they could do it, though, John. What they could do, by moving the seats closer, they could keep the current configuration. They could. But what's happening is they're going to move the seats closer. So there will be an amazing view from these seats. So they're going to make those this new stand that they're creating, they're basically going to take people away from that area because now they're moving it closer. They're going to become premium. They're going to become premium seats. So it's wrong. They don't have to reconfigure it. They could just shift it closer and keep everyone where they are. Right. You might have to move. There might be a few people around the edges if through reconfiguration that they have to do this. But the fact that they're shifting everyone out of the way because they're making, and that's what they'll have to do. If they're putting a chunk of seats in the middle for Club London seats, everyone's going to have to be reconfigured.
So essentially, they're hiding behind our demand as a fan base to make it more of a football stadium. They're hiding behind that just to make more profit. That's what you're getting at, yeah?
100%. 100%.
I think that's my conclusion as well. But at the same time, it is what we're asking for. It is what we're asking for to make it more of a football stadium. The ends, like I said already, they look brilliant. I think they're really good. It feels nice in those lower tiers as well. I hope it'll feel the same, when they do the West Stand and it can come a lot closer. But they could have done it.
How are they going to create? How are they going to sort of bridge that gap? Because I know you said that the biggest gap in the stands is between the upper and lower tier is in that West Stand, but I don't think it is now. It's in the end stands because that fucking gap, that disjoint now between the front tier and the back tier, you could fit another football pitch in there.
Oh I know.
So I mean, you would not want to be right at the back up the top. I mean, you wouldn't. It's you fucking miles away.
The thing is, Nick, you can't do anything with the behind the goals unless you take away the screens and put the screen somewhere else. Right. Yeah. That's like a massive structural thing, isn't it? So it wasn't quite accurate what I said. They aren't the biggest trampolines, but they are a significant trampoline. Yeah. And when you take into account the gap between the pitch and especially in the middle in the West Stand, it comes right out, doesn't it? I mean, it's like another army of people pitched over there, isn't there? It's like a great big camp. So there's loads. It's great. You got loads of room for the players to warm up and stuff like that. But bloody hell, you don't need that much. So I just think my only problem with it is not. It's not the fact they're doing it, because I think doing it is the right thing to do to make the stadium look better. Iterative improvements every year, I think, are a really good thing. But why do they always get the fan communication part? And they could do this in such a better way. Like if they've got to move someone and they are putting him in an inferior seat, call them up and have the difficult conversation and compensate them in some way.
Yeah.
There's no way of not pissing someone off by doing this. So there's no way you can't piss someone off.
There isn't, but you can sweeten the blow a little bit, right? You can treat people like people. I think there should be a reduction.
I think if you're shifting someone out of their seat, you should say for this season only, 20%, 30% reduction on your season ticket. Because we're moving for inconveniencing.
Yeah, but you think about it, what they're doing. If you that mail from Peter Jones just now, that message, it's the equivalent of being dumped by text, right? That's what they're doing.
Yeah, I know.
Never happened to me. It's never happened to me, Gal. I wouldn't know
that. I know. Right, John, do you want to run through the chat?
Yeah, there's a few on it. On this stadium, the West Stand change. 2022, football is a corporate entity. Global fans have more value than local fans. Football sold its soul. I hate it, but it's where we are. Look, I agree. The everyday fan is not as important as the one who's going to come over and pay a fortune for a package, which includes hotel, match day tickets, and everything else that goes with it. We know that. Are we a dying breed? I don't think so at West Ham. I think there's a few clubs that have held on to their fan base through the whole corporate, side of things that we've gone through and changes and that. But I think we'll be all right with that, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I think so. Look, it's going to be done. Look, at the end of the day, the upshot of it in a couple of years' time, when we're over all of this, if we do end up with stands that are closer to the pitch, then that will be better for everyone. I just think that there's better ways that they could do this.
Michael said Foo Fighters said it was better than Wembley.
Because it is.
Hence,
it's good for concerts. It's really good for concerts.
I've never been to a concert there, no, and
I
obviously
saw Foo Fighters there. It was amazing.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
R.I.P. Taylor. Yeah. Oh, rest in peace, the drummer there, isn't it? Putting new seating area in for people that have plenty of money to spend on season ticket. Where is that fair? Yeah. Couldn't agree with more. It's going to be the new Wembley. Happy Amaret said, I sat with a friend in the gods earlier this season and I couldn't hardly see a thing.
It must be.
I'm band 5. I'm quite high. I'm not ridiculously high, but I'm fairly high. I love my view, to be honest with you, but we are going to try and go down the front next season at some point.
Yeah. I think these ones here that are described, the band 6 ones, I mean, they really are in the gods, right? I mean, they're huge.
And lastly, Happy Amaret again says, like I said earlier, a friend has been moved from row 8 to 23.
Oh, wow.
For this new configuration. That is a big difference.
It's a piss take. And was that just a text message as well? Did they just get a text message? Why can't they just get a phone call from the club and discuss? Because especially if they're going to start doing that, just reallocating people by default and splitting people up like they did in the other ends. I mean, just deal with it properly. Treat people like people,
How is that conversation going to go, though, Gary?
Well, it's not going to go well, but it's better to treat people like people, and even if you're going to compensate them in some way. Right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Nothing, isn't it?
They should be compensated if they're being shifted.
It was an email. She got an email. Happy.
Not good. Not good.
Happy Hammeret is not happy. Well said, mate.
Not unhappy Hammeret.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the final bit of the show. The Brentford preview. John, do you wanna drive this one?
Yeah, I ain't got much information on it in terms of slides and that because we've all been so busy. Obviously, tomorrow then we're playing Brentford, and the game is being shown absolutely nowhere. So it's going to be very difficult to get a decent stream. It's not on telly or anything. I think someone said our next televised game is Chelsea in a few weeks or something.
How has that happened? How has Sky or BT not televising this game, yet they're televising Burnley against Norwich?
I know. Well, we're written out. We're not mentioned in that top 4 or top 6 race, are we? Really? They refuse to mention our name.
Burnley against Norwich is televised.
Humdinger! I'll be watching.
Yeah, what a great game that'll be.
Obviously, we know very well Brentford ain't a bad side, and they're on a little bit of a run at the minute. They've won 3 out of their last 6, and what we're trying to avoid is a repeat of what happened earlier on in the season at the London Stadium when they scored a very, very late winner to beat us 2-1. Currently, Brentford are sitting 15th. Mathematically, they're not out of the relegation battle, but we probably would, we'd probably go along that they're going to be safe. They're a good team. They're a solid team. They're very quick. They're very athletic, and they've caused people some problems, as we know. They beat Chelsea very recently 4-1 at the Bridge, which was fantastic. Ivan Toney is their top scorer. He scored 11 goals, and I read something earlier before I come on. I said to Gary about it. Apparently, Ivan Toney scored 8 in his last 8, which I was quite impressed with. But Gary soon burst a bubble when he said, "Yeah, but 3 were against Norwich." So it was a very good point that he brought up there. So look, we know what they've got to offer. We know what they've got to look out for. It's not going to be as easy as we think. I don't know if we do think it's going to be easy. I think it's going to be easy at all. No, it's going to be a very tough game. As I said, they've won 3 of their last 6. And I would say that the player that I think we've got to watch at the minute is the reinvigorated and literally given a new lease of life, Christian Eriksen. He's slotted straight back into Premier League life, hasn't he? I think he scored 2 goals on the international duty as well the other week. So, and he scored his first goal against Chelsea, as we know. Christian Eriksen, we've got to watch him. We've got to watch the guy. And alongside Tony, he's going to create some chances with him. They've got some good players. I'm a bit I'm a bit apprehensive with this. I think it's a bit of a banana skin, especially after Thursday and with Thursday on the horizon. You know,
really is. They did it. They did a job on us at home. I mean, they really did a job on us, and they were taking the piss. I mean, they were, as soon as they went 1-0 up. You remember in the first half they went up 1-0 up relatively early, and the time wasting started straight away. The minute they went 1-0 up, it was appalling, and they were a really annoying team to watch. And I was fuming. It was the only game this year actually where I've been fuming afterwards. I really was. Yeah. And I think they'll probably try to do the same to us tomorrow. But we've got to remember that game. We've got to be a little bit angry about it and want to put in a performance tomorrow. I think we're a better team now. I think we were huffing and puffing at the time when we played them at home.
We were struggling a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're a better team. I think as we've gone on throughout the season, we're this is a game that we have got a chance of winning. I don't know if you've noticed of late, but the ones where we have got a chance of winning and we should be winning, we have been kind of largely getting the results, right? Yeah. So I'm quite looking forward to this tomorrow, and I think it'll suit us better playing them away at their place than at our place.
Yeah, possibly.
I agree. I hope so anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, is it a must win? Is it a must win? Because what I don't want to. If we lost, I wouldn't want to see fans, like the world's caving in upon us, because
no.
I'm not saying I don't want to win. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't want to come across negative, but to me, the bigger game is Thursday, right? But then you look at this game and you think, well, is this as important, especially with the slip-ups that happened today?
Of course it's not. I would describe tomorrow as highly desirable, right? But I would describe next Thursday as mandatory, right? We've got to win next Thursday. So, and I think we can put in 2 good performances in the same week. I think we did it before. We played well against Everton on Sunday. You're not blinded, but we played well ahead of the first leg. Yeah. We don't have to get over the line, and I hope we'll be in a position to do that tomorrow. We are putting in a full effort every game. I don't think Moyes will tolerate less than a full effort. Players are not going to be going out tomorrow and worrying about Thursday as if they might get a knock or something like that. It's not going to happen. And I don't want anyone moaning when Craig Dawson wipes Christian Eriksen out.
I said, do you think on Christian Eriksen? Do you think that potentially teams might be standing off of him a little bit, like in terms of a player? No. Do you think he might be getting a bit, or do you think he is just a tremendous player and he's just come back and he's?
Do you remember that incident a few weeks ago where Billy Gilmore was rolling around on a picture of him, and then he he got him by the scruff of the neck and thought, "Oh shit, it's Eriksen," and he went, and he gave him a hug.
That's it. I know.
When it gets to that, and when it gets to that line, actually, just to talk about Eriksen, I don't know if any of you know, but I was in Milan on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and we did a stadium tour. And the tour guide was an Inter Milan.
You never said anything, John.
He never mentioned it. He never mentioned it, John.
I needed a break after nearly dying, Nick. But the tour guide was an Inter Milan fan, and he said that the Inter Milan fans are livid, so angry and disappointed that they didn't get to see him because of what happened. They didn't really get the best out of him. But in Italy, the way the medical stuff works over there is completely different. So in this country, you can basically sign a disclaimer to say, I want to play. My medical team said I'm fine to play. And you've cut any insurance claims out of it. But in Italy, they don't do that. So the same situation happened with remember Daley Blind, ex-Man United player.
Yeah.
So he was in Italy when his heart problems occurred. He had to leave his contract in Italy, but he's playing for Ajax week in, week out now. So it's interesting to see that different countries have different rules. But they were quite upset that they haven't seen the best of him. And I think, to be honest with you, look, I don't want him to score against us, but I think it's a fantastic story. It's like a fairy tale, isn't it? The geezers come back to life.
Would you sign him? Would you be interested in going for him next season?
Of course. He's only there to the end of the season.
I know.
Officially,
he's
only signed the contract end of the season. You're not gonna not want to sign him. I think he's 29. He's got a few years left yet, hasn't he? I don't know how I'd feel watching him week in, week out. Though I think I'd always be a little bit anxious if I'm honest, just because,
especially the way Moyes runs players into the ground. But yeah, no, I think it's a really important game, especially off the back of the results today that have gone in our favour.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think we've got to get a result. We want to keep that momentum up. You don't want to be, and what it does is as well. If we kind of cement in our place in that top 6, we can enjoy ourselves a bit more in these European games. Like what I said a few weeks ago. If we were to drop out of the top 6, because we want to be in Europe. We need to be in Europe now. If we drop out of that top 6 and it's kind of out of sight, then it almost becomes, it's going to become unpleasant in the Europa League because we're almost going to need to win it.
Yeah.
Whereas I think we can probably afford to enjoy it a little bit more. How great would that be to finish in the top 6 and or finish 5th? One better than last year and win the Europa. I mean, how fucking unreal would that be?
It's the stuff of dreams, isn't it?
It'd just be crazy, wouldn't it?
But that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. If results wouldn't have gone for us today, then tomorrow's game would have been less important. But because of the results, it's more important now.
We've got to capitalise, haven't we? We've got to capitalise.
I think we have to capitalise 100%.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's jump onto the squad predictor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. If I can get it working this time.
That's why I was in hospital.
What do we we're doing match predictions after this,
Yeah, we'll do it after this. Right. Fabianski in goal.
Yeah.
Go on, call them out. Is Fredericks or Johnson going to be playing?
Oh, well, I think Cresswell and Johnson will be playing.
Cresswell will definitely play, wouldn't he?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing Soufal, but I don't think he'll be risked.
He needs a run out, though, doesn't he? He needs a run out.
I think he needs a half of football, doesn't he, somewhere?
I'll tell you what, right? What I'd like is to give Johnson a rest, play Soufal against Brentford if he comes through against Brentford and looks like his old self, because he had all those bad games like leading up to his injury, but he was carrying that injury for ages. So I'm hoping we're going to see the old Soufal back again. If he comes good, then on Thursday I would play Soufal on the right and Johnson on the left, and I would drop. I know it's a long-winded way of saying it, but that's
I know what I mean.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we're gonna go Johnson right.
Yeah.
Cresswell left. Zuma, Dawson.
The other way around. Zuma plays left.
Yeah. Zuma, Dawson, Souček and Rice obviously are going to have to play right now. Going further forwards, these are because obviously we have got an important game coming up, and we have got options from the bench. So do we risk Lanzini and Antonio in this game?
Lanzini needs a bit of match time as well, doesn't he? Somewhere.
Lanzini, I mean, Moyes' comment on him today was he's still feeling the pain from the accident, but he has been training and they're hoping that he'll be ready for tomorrow. So I think that is Moyes' way of saying he's going to play.
Okay.
Right. Fornals will obviously play. We know that. And do you think Bowen will play?
Yes.
Do you not think Benny will play?
Well, I think I'm sure he would have been frustrated with him after that game. Do you think he'll play? I wouldn't mind if he played against Brentford. That wouldn't bother me. That's what I'm trying to say to you is he might play him against Brentford with the knowledge that he knows he's going to be on the bench against Lyon in the return leg. Maybe, possibly. I'm just thinking, but obviously for want of the better team, you go with what you got there. Lanzini might be on the bench and come on for 20 or something.
Yeah, maybe. You know what though? After watching Benrahma play talking about big games, do you remember what he did against Brentford at home earlier in the season? The whole week was about leading up to it was about Benrahma and how they loved him and all this sort of crap. And then it turned out the big Benrahma game where he's going to show his old team what he's missing didn't fucking turn up.
No, he didn't. He was terrible.
Yeah,
he was terrible in that game.
So I don't want to see Benrahma play tomorrow. I don't.
Right. Okay.
I think he will.
I think I personally I would play him, but for me, if I was Moyes, if he didn't perform in this one against them, I think he's got to sell him in the summer anyway because too often
before the game he's going to be going around. He won't be warming up. He'll be going around high fiving all the fans. He will.
But too often West Ham have held on. Too often West Ham have held on to players too long. We have, and the thing is, if Benrahma's stock is still probably relatively high because he's still well respected. But if we keep him for another year and he has another poor season, the value is just going to keep going down.
Nick, we are losing so many players who are going back to their loan clubs or who are retiring or going out of contract, we will not be able to afford to sell any players that are still contracted to the club because we need so many through the door anyway. You're not going to be able to ship out too many. And at the end of the day, like you said before, Benny can be a good impact player off the bench, a squad player. He's not a first team starter, in my opinion. But to sell him would be silly, in my opinion, as well. Purely based on the squad we've got.
Yeah, maybe.
Soufal will be on the bench as well, Nick.
Yeah, no, I know. I've been a bench.
So,
This is more talking about what we're going to do here. Then, so who's going to play number 10? Who's going to? I mean, Yarmolenko. Would you give Yarmolenko a run out?
No. I think it will. If it's a predictor, right? So I think it's going to be Ben Rama with Antonio up front.
Well, so Fornals in the middle. So hang on a minute. Wait.
It'll be Fornals in the middle and Ben Rama out left.
So Yarmolenko. So Lanzini won't play.
No, I don't think he will. I think he'll.
You said he will.
I think he will. No, I'm trying to read Moyes' mind, which is difficult to do, right? Moyes is convinced that he's close, but not close enough. And I'm reading the comments here from Garino and various people are saying, probably not quite ready yet. And that's sort of what Moyes was saying.
He might give him 20 or 10, 15, 20 near the end, bring him on.
Yeah.
Start him.
Yeah, and that wouldn't be the end of the world, would it? As long as it could.
So what we're saying is it's going to be a similar lineup to what we used to, which is fine.
He rarely changes it, does he?
No, it's going to be all right. That's fine. Well, that's killed that then. Right, okay. Right. No, that's fine. Look, at the end of the day, I think we've got players on the bench, so I think we're better off to start strong, see how it goes, get our noses in front, and then what we can do is we can start resting players in. I'd rather do that, like you say, than leave players on the bench and then have to fucking get them on to try and chase. We've got to start strong. We have got to start strong against them. They are dangerous. They're a dangerous team. We can't take them lightly.
No.
So no, I'm all for that. I think Antonio's got to start as well.
We definitely missed Lanzini the other night. Happy Amaret just said.
I think Happy Amaret seems to miss him more than most.
She does. She loves
Lanzini.
I'm not sure she's thinking about footballs. Put it that
way. Okay. All right. What are your predictions anyway?
For tomorrow, I'm going to go with a 2-1 to us.
I wanted to do that.
You can still have the same goal, won't you?
No, I can't do the same. I'm not copying. In that case, I'll go 2-0. Us.
You're going 2-0?
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw tomorrow.
Oh, ruined it.
Yeah, I know. Well,
I think for once I might be overstretching.
Right, let's face it.
I might be overstretching myself at 2-0, but I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah.
Hang on, is Dawson playing? Oh, we won't let a goal in. Sorry.
No, we'll be all right.
Dawson's playing. Don't worry about it.
Right.
Benny won't go. Just Krell, Yarmo, Nobes, Massa.
Yeah, this is what I was saying.
No, I don't think he'll go.
Agrees. And this is an interesting point. What do you reckon about this? I can see us extending Frederick's contract for another season. I wouldn't put it past them, giving him a year.
I would like that.
I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against it. Yeah, I think he comes in.
Go on, sorry, Gal.
No, he comes in occasionally for a game or two and puts in a good shift, doesn't he? So I've got nothing against him doing that.
I think, and he seems like a good egg. I can't imagine him causing problems, So he's happy being a squad player.
He's also Declan Rice's best mate in that squad as well.
Oh, is he?
Oh, so he'll leave when Declan leaves in the summer.
Oh, he's got no chance of selling him then, have we?
No. Right. I'll go on. Go through the comments first, mate. Sorry.
If we get the right price, I think Benny is gone. Ooh, don't know about that.
Yeah, Neil. I don't think we'll get the right price because define the right price. Is it getting back what we paid for him? We won't get that.
You ain't going to get that back.
Happy Hammerette says 1-1 draw, but she's now gone 2-1. Yeah. Neil from Down Under's gone 3-1.
Yeah, like it.
Toby Fisher's gone 2-2. Desmond.
Over Desmond.
Yeah.
Right, okay, let's whiz through these. Right, John, Norwich versus Burnley.
The big game tomorrow that's on telly.
Yeah.
The big game tomorrow that's on telly. I'm going to say Norwich against Burnley, 1-1.
Okay. Gary, Leicester versus Crystal Palace. Bastard game that is, really. They're both in form at the moment.
Yeah, I've just got draw written all over it. I'll go Desmond.
2-2.
Yeah.
And we'll go with the majority here, which is a West Ham win. So we'll go for 2-1.
Just quickly, I'm not doubting Happy Hammerette, but anyone know if this is true? I'm sure she's right. Neil, we haven't scored more than 2 since January the 1st. She must mean in the league.
We must
mean in the league.
Yeah, we scored 2 last week, didn't we? Against
Oh yeah. Well, she means more than 2. More than 2.
Oh, more than 2.
Oh,
Not
yeah, more than 2. Yeah,
above 2.
You're right.
Yeah, we don't score that many goals. Okay, yeah, I misread it as well.
But there is another stat. There is another stat that I hope you all know, and that is West Ham have scored in every single Premier League home game at home this year.
Yes, that's a great stat.
Because home games are at home, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you know, I'm actually going to watch this game tomorrow because this game is actually fucking massive. Man City versus Liverpool. Look at that. 73 and 72 points.
That's a title decider. It's a title decider.
Huge.
Isn't it? Yeah.
I've got because Man City have faltered and Liverpool are coming for them. I've got to fancy Liverpool in that.
Do you know what? I said to my son the other day, I'm absolutely bored with watching Man City. They bore me to tears. I don't care how good they are, what players they've got, the way they play football, this tippy-tappy stuff, for me, it's too tippy-tappy now. It's getting so monotonous.
Whereas Liverpool just play good, attacking, fast-paced football.
Liverpool play with pace. With Man City, it's just slow. And I'm just like, I don't get excited watching Man City, but I do with Liverpool. And I'm not a Liverpool fan, obviously, but with Man City, I turn off. I can't watch them. Genuinely. It bores me.
Anyway.
I wonder if that'll be a game where they cancel each other out.
What we going there? And I reckon. No, I think I'll fancy Liverpool winning that.
I do. Yeah.
I think 2-1. What do you reckon? 2-1.
Go on.
2-1 to the pool.
Okay. It's Liverpool on top, and it puts us in 5th. Have a look at that.
We are flying, aren't we?
They'll be dancing in the streets of Liverpool tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Who predicted the Spurs score? Villa 0, Tottenham 4. Oh no, that was a real score, wasn't it?
That was a real fucking score. Thanks, Gerard. He's doing well now, Gerard, isn't he?
Yeah, he's brilliant, isn't he? Lost 4 in a row.
Doing well. Right. Okay. I think that's about it. Gary, do you want to wrap up?
Yeah, I think we're done. Look, 1 hour 50. What's happening? 1 hour 52. Blimey.
We're trying to keep it around the 2 hour mark now, aren't we?
We're getting too quick, but it's been, it's been good having you back, John.
That's been
I feel like, you know what I feel like though? I feel like, you know, when Robbie Fowler went back to Liverpool.
Yeah.
I feel a bit like that. I'm not sure if like used to thinking, oh, he's back, he's stealing the limelight. All the ladies are going to love him again.
Yeah, there is that. There is that.
You're going to take all that. Yeah, I know.
Just saying, mate. Just saying.
That's great. Yeah. Back, mate.
So look, we're done. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all your comments in the chat. Hope you've enjoyed the show. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. Please go on, subscribe.
Give us a thumbs up on all the videos.
Give us a thumbs up and hit the bell notification icon. It's a lovely thing to do. You'll feel better for it afterwards. All right. So thank you all for joining. We will be back tomorrow night for the Hangover show. We'll be discussing our win at Brentford. Looking forward to that. To end the weekend on high. So until then, we'll see you next time.
Before we go, should we do the spoiler, Gary? Is it not next week? It's a week after, isn't it?
22nd.
It's the 22nd. Friday the 22nd. We've got a David Shaw, Jay's dad from the In-Betweeners, and a Nigel Khan special. They're both going to be on the same show. So that'll be.
We're going to have a quiz to end all quizzes.
It is on a Friday night booze up. You know, David Shaw knows his stuff as well. It's going to be interesting.
And David Shaw, he was in Seville. And I know for a fact that he's going to be in Lyon as well. So he's not just a celebrity fan. He goes away.
He does. He's a proper fan. Proper fan. So listen.
Oi, oi, oi. This is a message for all West Ham fans. This is David Shaw, a.k.a. Jay's dad from the In-Betweeners. And don't forget to subscribe to Claret and Booze. Don't be a mug like Jay.
Lovely bloke, he's.
Great bloke.
But if you're going to the game tomorrow, enjoy yourself, have fun, enjoy the win, and we will see you tomorrow night. So until then, see you later. Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
Here he is.